time now for us to talk about UP Warriorz and how they are shaping up ahead of Season 3. Neha, let's straight up go to your first 11 there for the UP Warriorz. This is how you've, stacked up their 11, and you think Deepti Sharma will be their captain. Why?
Yeah, Akshay. I mean, UP Warriorz was again, another fun team where I had to conceptualize the playing 11. I know a lot of people give me the stick for not taking Grace Harris, but I had my reasons there. So my playing 11 primarily looks like this. I have Chamari Atapattu opening with Vrinda Dinesh this season. Let's give her the long rope. Let's just see how she kind of fares. And Vrinda Dinesh too, last season we did see injury cut off a great chunk of that season. She didn't have the best of the outings as well. But this time around, hopefully she can dominate, coming off of a great senior women's, one-day trophy and challenger trophy as well. So excited to see how she kind of fares. Kiran Navgiri at number 3, again, no-brainer. I think in that quarterfinals of the senior women's one-day trophy again for Maharashtra versus Railways, scoring a 25 ball 64. I mean, it was just amazing to, kind of see her be at her attacking best. Reiterates why, she is such a potent option to have in your playing 11 as well. And T-Mac obviously has to make the cut. A gun all-rounder, someone you would kind of want in your playing 11, has been a part of Australia for such a long period of time and has performed really well. Captained them too, right, at the Women's Ashes. So, really happy to include her in this playing 11. And Deepti Sharma is my captain. I think last episode, guys, please check that out if you haven't already. I endorse Deepti Sharma as my captain because the kind of value she brings to the team has always been a part of like the leadership group in every single team she's been a part of, and I don't see any reason why she shouldn't be the captain. Last season ki MVP bhi reh chuki hai wo, so comes in with that sort of a wisdom and experience. So although UP has not announced their captain, I think it's going to be Deepti Sharma and Uma Chetri, obviously, my wicket keeper. In the absence of Alyssa Healy, Uma Chetri had to, kind of make the cut and be the wicket keeper. Hopefully she gets a good run and is able to, kind of make a mark for herself. Poonam Khemna too, again, another name who has been making the waves in domestic cricket in the Pondicherry T20, league that happened in 2024 as well, performed really well. And even with her time in RCB, although she was like criminally underutilized, she does have that sort of finishing abilities. But here she definitely, kind of merits the place for herself. And Sophie Eccleston, man, she's your premium T20 bowler. So again, definitely had to include her. The women's Ashes say I think the biggest positive was her. So hopefully, she can carry on that vein of form here. And in her time for UP Warriorz, she's been exceptional for them. And Simon Thakur as well, again, a much evolved bowler, having that India experience and doing so well for Mumbai in whatever matches she has played this season. So excited for her. And rounding that off with Kranti Gaud, I mean, just go and see the video of her bowling in that final of the Senior Women's One-Day Trophy, and you'll know why we kind of included her in the playing 11. Absolutely love seeing her bowl in full flow, and I think she is WPL ready. And last but not the least is Alana King, who I thought was a great purchase, coming off of a great women's Ashes with 23 wickets. And I think on Indian conditions, although I did have certain reservations, will she be able to do well? I think she will be able to do well. My mind goes back to the T20 series that Australia and India played, and the way she was able to loop in the ball and actually like challenge batters. Definitely makes her a very, very enticing prospect. See, and imagine Sophie Eccleston and Alana King, bowling in tandem. Obviously, it's a dream come true for any women's cricket fan. So, yeah, I think this is how my UP Warriorz kind of stacks up. And yeah.
I mean, before even I go further, I probably have to make it a thing, I guess, कि एक mandatory flex होना चाहिए. Neha, remind me again, auction के बाद who was like one of two names I mentioned, domestic players जिनको हमने देखा नहीं है खेलते हुए कि भाई इस पे नजर रखते हैं, WPL ये start करेगी हमारे लिए. Just remind me, why was it Kranti Gaud? Like, I'm happy to see her come good though.
I mean, obviously, Akshay, you had to flex that, but
Anyway.
Kranti Gaud, I think, also makes presence in your 11. So please flex about it again there, yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, now after those performances, I guess it's all but confirmed that she will be starting for them. In fact, I remember Lisa Stalekar also tweeting about her a couple of weeks ago after the Senior Women's ODI Trophy final or the semi-final, where she came up with that brilliant new ball spell, and she retweeted and quote-tweeted saying, "Ki was हमारी team है, देखो सही है, सही है." So, I mean, fingers crossed she will come good for them, of course. Speaking about my 11, though, I agree with some of the comments there. Like Arish also goes on to say, Grace ahead of Chamari all day and every day. And same is the case for me. I mean, I have gone ahead with Vrinda Dinesh and Kiran Navgiri to open for me. Vrinda Dinesh picks herself. She was bought by the UP Warriors last year for a crore. Unfortunately, got injured and wasn't available for them for the remainder of the season. And they promoted Kiran Navgiri at the top, who didn't do too badly. So I'm expecting these two to continue in Alyssa Healy's absence. But her absence then ensures Uma Chetri's place in the 11, because she is the only, she's one of only two domestic keepers they have available in their setup. So Uma Chetri, having already played for Team India, means that she will probably be ahead in that pecking order. So I've gone ahead with this as my top three. And then I've gone for someone like a Deepti Sharma, who's, of course, surprise, surprise, also my skipper for the UP Warriors. I've slated or slotted her in at number 4. She didn't do too badly at all last year when she was in the top 3, top 4. Those 3 consecutive 50s come to mind. She was also the all-rounder of the season there, to be honest. Contributing with both the bat and the ball, and almost single-handedly pushed UP Warriors to the brink of a playoff spot. That Gujarat Giants game, unfortunately, she wasn't able to hit a 6 of the last ball, and they ended up on the losing side. Then Talia Migra at number 5, Shweta Sehrawat at number 6. Shweta, I was still confused कि Shweta के साथ जाना है कि पूनम के साथ जाना है. They did back Shweta at number 5 last season. I have no reason to believe why they won't continue doing that. I know she's not exactly had the greatest of domestic seasons this time around in the ODI and in the one day and the T20 format, but I still think they'll stick to her. But they can also go ahead with Poonam Khemnar in that position, because I really like what I saw of her over there. Grace Harris at number 7 will be my finisher. Sophie Eccleston at number 8, Alana King at number 9, Saima Thakur and Kranti Gaud round up my 11. 3 pacers, and then you've got arguably the most incredible spin bowling attack I've ever seen in the history of women's cricket. Like, I'll go as far as to say that Deepti Sharma, Sophie Eccleston, Alana King, number 1, number 2 all-rounder rankings, Deepti, Sophie. फिर Alana's bowling rankings पे top 5 है. मतलब तुमने पूरा सबको ले लिया. They will be playing 3 of their games in at the Lucknow Stadium. At Ekana in Lucknow. Santosh Odpa correcting me rightly. They won't be playing 4. They'll be playing 3 games, which is expected to be spinner friendly. They'll also be playing at the stadium in Vadodara, which was also fairly conducive to spin. It was staying low, staying slow. In that Ireland series. So the spin attack will definitely be more than handy. And then at the likes of Kranti Gaud, Saima Thakur and Talia Megra, I think they've got a more than decent bowling attack. And then with the batting, of course, they will have to rely on some of the domestic options who haven't proven themselves yet. But Vrinda Dinesh is entering WPL Season 3 on the back of a fantastic ODI trophy, on the back of a fantastic one-day Challenger trophy, one-day trophy, T20 Challenger trophy, T20 trophy. So given that, there's enough reason to believe that Vrinda Dinesh might also be able to come good over here. So I'm expecting a lot more from the Bangalore girl there. So fingers crossed she'll come good for them. But yeah, all in all, this is my 11 for the UP Warriors. And folks, all of you chatting in the comment section, we'll take your comments once we're done with our thoughts, just airing out our thoughts. Like we said earlier, we'll first just air out our thoughts so that we don't lose our flow, and then we'll take all of your comments. So feel free to comment and let us know what you think of our 11s. If you have any other player, featuring in your 11, is someone like a Chinel Henry coming in, or if someone who is the 6 overseas option, I'm forgetting. कौन है भाई 6 overseas option उनका? Chinel Henry in place of Alyssa Healy, and they brought in, I'm forgetting. Let's in due course, अगर याद आता है तो बात कर लेंगे उनके बारे में भी. But yeah, do let us know if you think there's any. Oh, Chamari is of course the other option. Wow, Chamari and Chinel Henry are the 2 other options who I haven't featured.
Yes.
But yeah, coming to, of course, the SWOT analysis. Yeah, Neha, you can probably start off with the strengths and weaknesses. क्या लगता है आपको are UP Warriors strengths and what exactly are their weaknesses?
Yeah, I mean, let's start off with their strengths. I think one thing we'll have to give to UP Warriors is the presence of their power hitters, right? The likes of Brinda Dinesh, who's kind of like Brinda Dinesh 2.0 after that great one-day trophy and Challenger trophy. Excited to see how she is, able to get their all guns blazing and give those starts for UP, because they will be missing Alyssa Healy. So you need someone at the top to, be that sort of an enforcer. And again, with opening with Chamari, at least in my mind, it was that. So that right left combo really helps the cause. And even just looking at the rest of the pattern with Kiran Navgire, T Mac, Deepti Sharma, Uma Chetri, and Poonam Khemna, clearly there is a presence of power hitters that will bolster, the kind of totals they want to put on board. Strength obviously has to be the gun spin attack. I think we have raved enough about it with the likes of Alana King and Sophie Eccleston operating from either ends, with Deepti Sharma also in the mix. I think this is more than more than competent bowling, spin attack that they kind of have in place, and will really keep them in good stead as well. And I was just looking at the vibrant all-rounders, right? At least in my playing 11, the likes of Chamari Atapattu, you have T Mac, Deepti Sharma, Sophie Eccleston. These are all actual great all-rounders who can add a lot of value on any given day and contribute with the bat and ball. Even Sophie Eccleston, man, for that matter, can tonk a few. So excited to see how she kind of goes. So vibrant all-rounders definitely has to be a feature for the UP Warriors. And I think compared to other teams as well, UP Warriors had a very quiet sort of an auction. They just purchased a few picks here and there, and much later, they did eventually. I mean, they had to get Chanel Henry because Alyssa Healy was injured, but I think they were convinced with the kind of core they have in place. So that really goes to show the team management's faith in their abilities as well. So yeah, that's about the strengths, obviously. And looking at the weaknesses, I did put absence of Alyssa Healy as a weakness, because she was your captain for 2 seasons. Blew hot and cold, but still, there was a sense of confidence ki, ha, yaar, matlab Alyssa Healy is right at the top of the order. She can give us those sort of starts. Is your wicket keeper as well, so can keep an eye out on all the fielders, and just be the kind of captain she is, right? So that's definitely going to be a massive miss for UP Warriors as well. And looking at the other weaknesses as well, yeah, the reliance on the top order as well, right? They would kind of need them to click on every single day, otherwise things are going to get a little difficult. Either way, they go with Akshay's playing 11 or mine, you would still need that top order to click. And also the inexperienced lower order, I think that will also come to kind of bite them. I think in both mine and Akshay's playing 11, the top order is a little heavy there. I think in Akshay's playing 11, at least there is Grace Harris that's still coming in at like what, 6 or 7, gives some level of confidence. But I think with that largely untested, like lower middle order, it might be a tad bit concerning, at least from my playing 11 POV. So yeah, I think these are at least the strengths and weaknesses that I have assessed on like a surface level basis. But yeah, Akshay, if you have any other points to add, or you can just go to the opportunities and threats.
In terms of the strengths and weaknesses, of course, like we discussed off air as well, I agree with most points in terms of how the UP Warriors side is shaping up. It'll be interesting to see, if Alyssa Healy's absence actually affects the side. Nikhil Bhai was also a part of last week's chat. We all were talking about how it might probably be a blessing in disguise for them that, she won't be available. So, dekhte hain wahan pe kya hota hai. But coming back, of course, to their opportunities and threats. Let's have the graphic out first. And threats. First, of course, with the opportunities, chances for some of those youngsters. Yeah, like Kranti Gaud is definitely a name that comes to mind, and I'm hoping that she will be a name we will be listening or hearing a lot more of in the near future. Great action, great rhythm, great runner. Matlab, she's the quintessential pacer that we all want in our side. That way, she offers a lot of value with the new ball. Importantly, beautiful seam position. She's more of an outswing specialist that way. Haven't seen her bowl too many in swingers, but all in all, again, she's looking good, and I'm expecting her to play a lot more for the UP Warrior setup, given that they've let go of someone like a Yashasri. Anjali Sarvani is arguably the only other option available for them when it comes to domestic pacers. And which probably means that Kranti Gaud will be featuring for them a lot at the Ekana in Lucknow. Ayush earlier alluded to the fact that boss pehli baar Lucknow mein ho raha hai, so hopefully a lot more of these fans will watch their games, and will throw their support strong the stadium, so that home advantage hopefully will play a role for them. Home advantage not in terms of the surface per se, more from an audience perspective. We've always spoken about how, for RCB, that 12th man is the stadium or the audience and the vibe at the Chinnaswamy. Hopefully something like that can be recreated at the Ekana for the UP Warriors. Talking about the threads though, Deepti Sharma's captaincy, once again, coming from a glass half empty perspective, I know Neha would probably look at it as an opportunity. I've just listed it as a threat simply because Deepti Sharma does not really have a lineup as well when Harmanpreet wasn't available. But that lack of experience, I'm not sure how is it going to favor her. But what comes to mind, of course, is the one game I did watch at the stadium last year. I'll have to, all my thoughts about Nat Brant, Talia Megra, Deepti Sharma, like in terms of that tactical look comes from what I saw on the field. Because off the field, तो camera हमेशा batter bowler center पे रहता तो दिखता नहीं है. She actually was a lot more active on the field than Alyssa Healy, because even in the first couple of seasons, Alyssa Healy was the keeper, and she also does not understand the local language, which meant that she had to depend on someone like Deepti Sharma. She was very much a part of the leadership group. I remember how she had a very solid say in the wicket. I remember wicket also that was practically her choice. I mean, not her choice. It was her calls. The way she had the fielder set up, and so it was good to see that. So I do think she might not be the worst of options out there, but it'll both be an opportunity cost fallacy for the UP Warriors, because VP Sharma being made captain means that someone like Talia Megra will be playing under her, and she herself is no bad a captain. She's captained the Aussie side recently at the World Cup in Alyssa Healy's absence. She was also a winner of the WPL 2023-24 season for the Adelaide Strikers. So they do have another captaincy option or candidate available, but yeah, in all likelihood, Indian their skipper, because nahi to wahi same problem aa jayega. If Talia Megra is not in the greatest of form, they'll just be stuck with her because she's their captain. So understandable over there. Talking about more threats for them, of course, finding the right balance. If you looked at how Neha's 11 shaped up and how my 11 shaped up, there were already differences on that front as well. So given that it is important that they find what the right balance is, will they go ahead with Chamari? Will they go ahead with Grace? Do they go ahead with an overseas pacer in Chinel Hindi, or do they actually back the ability of someone like a Kranti Gaud? There are a few questions they will have to answer for themselves, and it will also be surface dependent. So on a flat surface like the one at the Chinnaswamy, probably someone like a Chamari would be initially they will have to be a lot more agile tactically. So that is important. And John Lewis has been known to be someone who is firm in his in his selections and his thought processes. So it will be something to watch out for in the season. And talking about the last thread, of course, it is that pace reserves. Ability to kafi hai, skill kafi hai, talent bahut zyada hai, but yeah, you cannot hide the fact or deny the fact yaar experience nahi hai. Kranti Gaud ho, Saima Thakur ho, both haven't had a lot of experience at the highest level, and unlike international cricket, WPL mein you will be playing in front of much bigger crowds, and that's a pressure of its own. So it is important for them to be able to adjust to that situation, just be able to absorb that pressure. Will they be able to do that? That's something we will have to keep an eye out for. It's not something that can be answered. It's not objective. So wo dekhna padega. Experience pace or pace option available for them. Last year she had a horror season. Chamari played for them mid-season just because of that. So if Talia is not able to replicate her performances from that season one, then UP Warriors will definitely be in for a world of trouble. So fingers crossed they will be able to do good on that front. But that's that in terms of UP Warriors analysis and how they will be how they will be sort of looking at the season 3 of the WPL.